At this point of Sisters, we have Rich, who is proving to be willing to prove that he is open to the idea of having children with Sabrina, considering this is what she wants, even though this wasn't his dream. But it just seems like one of those things where it's obvious he wants to do it to be with Sabrina, even though she's already made the decision of, well, even if you don't want to have kids, then I'm going to have a child without you. That doesn't necessarily mean that they'll break up, but it's more like, well, that's pretty much my stance, and you can either take it or leave it. But during the, I don't even know if I would say the live stream. I think it was on Twitter. Yeah, probably on Twitter. Some people were talking about that. You know what? It might be a situation where Rich might actually not be able to have kids. Maybe his soldiers aren't standing at attention, or something else going on with his body, which would be kind of ironic because you have Sabrina, who was going through so many of these procedures in order to get her body right to become fertile and, get pregnant. But at the end of the day, it could be, Rich, who's the one who's going to come up short, no pun intended. And it brings about the question of, because I do believe he said he was going to the clinic or something. I forgot where he was going to an appointment, to make sure, I guess you could say he was ready, I suppose, or they go through this procedure of taking his sperm and matching it with her egg or whatever the case may be. Essentially, he was going in for a checkup. Let's just say that. And I think it would be an interesting twist if, let's say, Rich is unable to help Sabrina with creating this new life. And that brings about another interesting question. Say Rich is hypothetically unable to have kids with Sabrina for one reason or another, not just because he doesn't want kids, but due to a physical thing on his end. How is Sabrina going to feel about that? Because on the one hand, this is the man that she wants to have kids with, but that's hard to gauge because Sabrina's desire for kids literally came out of nowhere. I believe it was her birthday. She turned 35. Next day, I want to have kids. And this is a dude she's been dating at the time for like 3 months. Then you move forward to the whole Damani thing where it's like, hey, here's this guy who is eager to offer his sperm, which doesn't seem strange at all, but I'll take it anyway. And we know that Rich only stepped up due to the fact that he doesn't want another man's sperm swimming in his woman's, insides. So if Sabrina isn't able to have kids with the man she wants, what's going to happen when she opts to have a baby with someone else, aka Damani? How is Rich going to feel about this? Do you think that they'll break up over it? I don't know. It is an interesting question when you think about it, though, because during my live stream last night, I talked about the possibility of, what if it gets to a point where Sabrina tosses Rich to the side like any other man once she's gotten what she wanted from them? For one thing, the most recent example being Bio, using him to bail Maurice out of jail. And then that was it. Oh, I don't like how you talk to my friend, even though he put up $1.5 million. I don't like how you talk to him. And then that kind of goes in line with the Rich situation where he isn't speaking highly of Andy, which I've said and I defended. Look at it from his perspective. So his girl, Sabrina, her friend Andy, broke his boys, Jordan's heart. Then on top of that, went back to the dude who betrayed not just Jordan, but his pregnant fiance / Jordan's sister, Penelope, because it turns out Gary had been messing around with her and Andy at the same time. And due to the circumstances of the whole, they're getting married, Gary gets stabbed, and now his woman and his boy, along with all the other Sabrina's friends, are being interrogated, and they're all dealing with the stress of Andy's decisions. So I can understand why he would feel the way he does about Andy. But on the other hand, when you look at all the other people in Sabrina's life who have talked negatively about her friends, she'll get mad at them and dump them. over just like, I don't like how you talked about my friend. And it's just like, really, Sabrina? So I'm very concerned about the future of Rich and Sabrina. I know some people aren't because they don't really like the characters of Jordan, Tony, and Rich to begin with. But I'm just speaking about it from the perspective of, I don't think things are looking good in Rich's situation, because heck, we still need to see the scene of Damani and Sabrina at the airport with Tony. So it just makes me believe that Sabrina is probably going to do what she wants to do regardless of how Rich feels. And it just makes me wonder if Rich is a compatible match for her to have children. And if he isn't, how is that going to impact their relationship moving forward? So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.